Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Napoleon Total, and today we are back with another Enlisted video, and today we're going to be talking about the Enlisted update system and why it is so horrific. Of course, for those who don't know, the preparations for the Scorching Rays update is here, and the next update is going to be Scorching Rays, which is going to be fixing Tunisia and whatnot. I have a video coming out as of yesterday, and you would be watching that if you want to see what's in the next update. But in today's video, we're going to be talking about how Enlisted's update system is a little bit problematic. So without further ado, let's just get started. And before we even start, let's just take this update, for example, the Scorching Rays update. And of course, we can also take the last update, which is the Forest Shadow update. And we can see a lot of things about this update, and these include the weapons. For those who don't know, Enlisted, when they do new weapons, they essentially give us piecemeal. And what I mean by that is that these weapons should be added a long time ago. For example, the Chicago typewriter, the famous M1921 Thompson, has already been in-game. It was for an event squad, to be exact, a pretty fun event squad. Of course, we also do get the Chi-Nu 2, which technically we have a Chi-Nu in-game, and technically we do have a Churchill number 7 in-game. The only thing that is technically new for this event is the Key 83, which is technically new. And of course, like the last update, we also do get a lot of weapons that are not unique at all. For example, the STG-44 Silent is essentially an STG-44 with a suppressor, the AVT-4020, the M2 carbine sawed off, and the M1 Thompson that is suppressed. Which essentially does mean most of the stuff that we were getting are essentially weapons that, well, we already got. And this is especially towards the vehicles. For example, the Jagdpanzer G1 has been added in the last update, that is a tier 5 vehicle, and technically we already have a Jagdpanther in game. The M36, okay, it's technically new, but like I said, when you have a game called War Thunder looming in the background, you expect a lot more vehicles to be added in, especially when you have planes that are exactly the replica of in War Thunder. They're essentially treating the game, we, the players, as dumb people, because we literally are getting weapons that are fed to us at a very slow rate. If Enlisted wants to do right now, which they could, they can add the entire French tech tree up to 1945, and they could do it in a few minutes. Well, granted, that's a little bit extreme, but still, they could do it in the next update. The reason why they don't do it is that, well, of course they have to plan everything, and they do have to check if it's unique, and of course they also have to check if it's like fair and balanced and whatnot. But they also do want to feed us to us gradually. They're essentially treating the update system in which they can just feed us one little minute vehicle at a time, and we essentially would have to take it because we don't have any other choice. A very good example is the AVT-4020. It essentially is an AVT-40 plus 20 rounds. So that's literally it. Of course, this update is pretty much the exact same issue. We have the Thompson M1921 submachine gun with 50 rounds, which is already in game. And of course, please don't get me started on the rocket launchers that have been added for both the Germans, the Americans, and the Japanese. I'm also waiting for the Soviets to get the Panzerschreck, the RPZ-B-43. So that is something that a lot of people are not happy about. This is not even to mention the fact that, once again, Enlisted could have given us a lot more stuff in terms of weapons, but as of right now, they're just slowly giving to us. And this update has gotten a lot worse. And the reason why I say it's a lot worse is because this update, we are getting some of the weapons that are pretty much the same. For example, we are getting one Thompson and one shotgun with a bayonet. The last update, at least we had an STG that was suppressed, and an M1 Thompson, which is once again nothing new, that is suppressed. So once again, nothing new. But of course, we're getting a lot of stuff now repeated, reused, and repackaged and given to us. Needless to say, this is essentially not a great idea. Essentially, what Enlisted is doing is that they're slowly feeding us these weapons, which, once again, is not a great idea for us and the player base, because this pisses off the player base, and Enlisted could have done much more with the updates that they could have give us. Because once again, you have to realize, every update is worth at least 2 months, maybe 1 month, so it's really not that much. And of course, if you want to compare to War Thunder, they have a lot of new stuff coming this update. Of course, most of these weapons are essentially in what you would call the Cold War or Modern Warfare era, but still, the amount of weapons that they could add for Enlisted is nothing to sneeze at. And of course, we do have weapons that Enlisted could have added directly from War Thunder, and that would take a few, well, let's just say a next update. They can pretty much add most of them into this update. So that is something to note. Needless to say, this is all it for this video. I do think that Enlisted should give us more for every update, because it feels like every time we're like squeezing Enlisted for something new. So without further ado, have a great day guys, and I'll see you in the next one.